Okay, welcome to the ProFit podcast. Sean from Strength and Performance. How are you, mate?
I'm good, buddy. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, welcome to the show. We've been trying to get on for a while. I know I wanted to get Zoran on as well, who is your business partner, longtime business partner, who, you know, he's always entertaining to talk to. But yeah, I'm really excited about having you on today to talk all about your journey and especially about running a gym, because we have a lot of listeners who that's one of their aspirations. I think a lot of new PTs come in and have that aspiration. So I really wanted to get your perspective on running a successful gym, not just one gym, but, you know, multiple gyms at some stages as well. So that we can maybe talk a little bit about that. But for the benefit of everybody listening today, give us a bit of your background and, you know, how we know each other and how you came to where you are now. A brief.
You were my boss.
Yeah.
You were my boss back in the day. So just a little, kind of thanks for having me. I'll do my best to answer all your questions and whatnot, and try not to put people off from owning a gym in this fitness business. Only joking. No, so I started in fitness. I had a degree in sports. I then went to work in a gym. They didn't have any gym jobs on the floor like coaching. So I ended up starting in sales. So I did about 2 years in sales, selling total fitness memberships back in the day. I was like, right, cool, but I want to be a PT. Ended up seeing a job down in Manchester at Holmes Place at the time. Obviously, that's where you were. Lucky enough to get that job. Commuted for 4 or 5 months from Lancaster to Manchester, which was an interesting journey, starting the gym coaching side. Was in Virgin, then Holmes Place went to Virgin, was there 3 or 4 years, obviously under your guidance, and then was like, right, got to get out of this because I don't like the way things are being done a little bit, and I always wanted to be my own boss. I had 2 things. I always wanted to be my own boss, and I liked helping people. So when I was younger, I was either going to be a teacher or I was going to come down the fitness space. So after being in Virgin 3 or 4 years, it was like, right, let's take the leap and let's go and step into the big wide world during the recession, as you do.
It was, wasn't it? Yeah. 2008.
2008, 2009.
Oof.
I know. And here we are, 12, 13 years down the line. And our gym is still going. It's going really strong. We've got a great team in there now, and we've just learned a hell of a lot on this journey. And any words that I can help people who have this vision of having their own place down the line, I'll do my best. All right. So that's my little background. Hope that covers little bits and bobs.
That's perfect, because sometimes, you know, backgrounds can be very, very heavy, but I definitely wanted people to hear that. So how many years have you been in the industry now from scratch?
I'm going to say from 2000. I did my level 3 personal training course that you did all that stuff in 2004. I was probably in a gym in 2005.
Wow.
So 17 years. It's a long time.
I've got you beat by 4 years, but not much. Not much. Right, I'm going to start there then with you. Why are you still keen on it? Why are you still interested?
For me, it's a part of my life. You know what it's like when you've been in it a while. I guess you get people come and go, and they have this thing that this PT job's going to be this amazing thing and earn loads of money. Cool, that's one aspect. But actually, I have a real passion for helping people, staying fit myself, and all around health. And more so from the past, through my life experiences over the past 5 years with my nephew getting ill, my dad getting ill, stuff like that. It only spurs you on more to be healthy for your kids now. So yes, I had this at the start, but it's only being accelerated because of my experiences. I want to be fit and strong and healthy for my kids because I've seen what's happened, you know, to my dad and stuff like that. So yeah, no, I love the fitness industry. I love just being healthy. With that being said, I understand balance. I understand that you need get the beers in, do that side. And I suppose now it's the whole thing of educating people that they can have both. Because you know what it's like being in this industry. People either go one way or they go the other way. actually. Just stay in the middle and just have a good time in the middle. What people have that all or nothing thinking all the time.
Yeah, that's really. I didn't think we were going to talk too much about that today, but I think that's a really good concept to bring up. Is sometimes people do take it to extremes, whereas, do you know what? Thinking back to the first period of the pandemic when there was the lockdowns, and we were actually meeting up and doing some runs, weren't we? I remember
Yeah,
that, and we were doing
yeah,
some hill runs, and you had some
yeah. That was
members
good.
coming along from the gym, and I always like, even then you were still buzzing, even though you were trying to run a gym in a pandemic. And I remember you were kind of really passionate still about, this is great, this, we're out here doing it, and but then you've never lost that part of you that you'll still have a beer, you'll still enjoy life,
Yeah,
you've got your kids and your family, and it really is what it's all about, staying healthy and fit for the things that matter in your life,
yeah,
rather than it becoming an obsession or a.
yeah.
Yeah, I think there's something to
And
that.
it's easily done. It's so easily done to be for to become an obsession because of the media and the images and stuff like that. And for people new to this or who want to achieve a certain goal, you can see how their mind be fixated. You're like, whoa, chill out a little bit. But it's that's the world we live in now, isn't it? I want results tomorrow. I want this tomorrow. I want to earn X amount tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm going to come to your gym philosophy later on as well, like about how you create that culture within your gym, because I've been a member at your gym for a few months as well, and experience
Yeah.
what it's like, and you definitely do things that create that culture. Why? I want to. Next thing I want to chat to you a little bit about is why a gym. Why did you want to start a gym? Because I think there'll be listeners here now who have been who are PTs who are thinking one of the goals is I want to do a gym. Why did you want to?
I think that comes down to wanting to be my own boss and having my own rules. So one of the things I disliked when I first got into this industry and was at Virgin Active is that you were a fitness coach, but you also a cleaner. You had to do your chores, you had to go and hoover up in the morning and stuff like that. And I've got nothing wrong with helping to tidy up, but when you are there with a hoover and then someone's coming in, you're like, oh, by the way, do you want some PT? It just doesn't look right. And I was like, I get why it has to be done, but I don't like it. And I want to do things my way. I want to have my rules. I want to be able to walk around this gym with a, kind of drinking a coffee or doing things a bit more relaxed, not so formal. I want more togetherness. I want more vibe. I don't want it just to be coming in the gym. I'm here for me and that's it. I think what we then founded a little bit within Virgin was team training. We used to get a load of the coaches together. We used to get members together more. And that really kind of created a positive energy, which then you're like, this is awesome. If everyone in this gym just came together and did this, everyone would be so much happier and the results would be so much better. But a corporate gym is never going to go down that route because of they have their vision and stuff, so it's fine. So it's like that only accelerated, right? If I want this, we've got to make the move for it. And we've got to take that step to opening a gym, which was obviously, it was a huge step. It was a huge learning curve, but I think you've got to have that aspiration in yourself as well. Working in a gym, it's nice because it's safe-ish. But don't get me wrong, Virgin Active was awesome because you learn a lot. You learn how to communicate with people. You learn your trade. You learn your niche, should we call it? And then you're always going to reach your cap. So then it's like, okay, what next? So that next kind of natural kind of progression for a PT is, well, I'll have my own place now. Albeit I wasn't in the. I should have known a lot more. Knowing what I know now. I wish I knew back then, because back then I was a fitness coach who loved fitness, who loved helping people. I was not a business owner. In my head, I thought I was.
Yeah.
But no way, I was nowhere near. I was just a coach who knew some carbs, fats, and protein. And then it's like, right, well, now you want to open a business. Yeah, it's fine. I'll do it. Actually, there's a bit more to learn.
I want to talk about that again in a second. Do you think, just coming back to like commercial gyms, because I'm dead similar background to you in that I started in commercial gyms, and you reach a ceiling. There's no doubt about that. I always remember a conversation with my boss or whatever, and saying, where do I go next? And they were like, oh, you could be a club manager.
Yeah.
And the role of a club manager within a facility like that is sales, membership sales. That's literally what you're doing. You're not connected to the gym side at all. And I thought, well, no, first of all. So now what do? I can't sit here for the next 5 years just doing the same thing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think I got a lot from being in a commercial gym initially. I think there was a lot.
Yeah, I agree.
What were the pros for you of being in it, for people who are maybe in a commercial gym? What would you say to someone?
You gotta walk before you can run.
Right.
And a lot of the things people look at commercial gym and well, I don't like that because the commercial gym takes X amount of your profit and you can't do the other things. Well, actually, you learn so much about yourself. You get to practice your trade with very little risk.
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to. A lot of it, you know, looking back now, there was no risk, was there? It's like there was no overheads. There was nothing like that. So it was pretty much you go in, you practice how to sell, you practice your pitch, you practice your philosophy, and you nail it. And once you nail it, you'll grow, and then you grow, then you can obviously move on to the next step. But yeah, I think we were part of a good group of people back then who all had a sound understanding of the fitness space. So it was just a good laugh. We were young, we were going out, having a good time, but also doing the PT stuff as well.
Yeah, I think there's no doubt that we were fortunate. That group of people have all gone on to do very, very good things within the industry as well, which I think is unusual. That cluster of trainers who started in a commercial gym have all gone on to do very well for themselves outside of that in the industry.
You should be proud.
Well, it definitely wasn't anything to do with me. But I think like that culture, and maybe that's something we're going to talk about within the gym that you have now. You are definitely someone who has taken that and taken it to another level in your gym. But I think it's important, and we did it within Profit as well. It was a massive part of what makes people successful, whether it's in business or whether it's in their health and fitness results. I think being part of a community and a family and a team who are going to support you when you're doing bad and who are going to celebrate with you when you're doing amazing. I think people underestimate it, and I think we had that within that commercial gym. I think that that really helped as well, but it definitely hit a ceiling at a certain point.
Yeah, but I think it was our kind of community, and it's just, I think when you join, you think you know it all, but actually you don't know it all. No. And then if things are going good, you kind of want someone to pull you back, and if things are going bad, you want someone to raise you up. And we had that. And I remember a few conversations with you where you were like, one of the biggest things you need to do is value yourself. And that, that's something that a lot of PTs don't. Like, I've got to charge £35 an hour. Well, well, that's expensive. Well, if you think it's expensive, well, then you're never going to sell it. So it goes back to, okay, it's £35 an hour. How many hours have you learned this trade and done this, and this? And you can, go back kind of many years and then go, actually, I do value it. And I remember that conversation till all the way to today. Like, you've got to value yourself. And without maybe those kind of crucial conversations that, were going on in the back room, the outcome wouldn't have been maybe the same moving forward.
Great. Good. And like, I didn't know about your sales. I mean, I obviously did at the time, but I've forgotten about that. You did sales, you traveled from Lancaster every day.
Yeah, that was brutal. 130-mile round trip.
But there's massive value in that as well, that you put them hours in, and you did actually, because it does do something to your brain to go, well, I'm putting the work in here. So £35 an hour is cheap.
Yeah.
It's super cheap. I'm charging the client £35, but to be honest, I'm putting in £70 worth of value. So they're getting it half price.
Yeah.
That's a good thing for new PTs to hear, because I don't think I've come across a new PT who doesn't say that seems expensive when I'm selling it to a client. So
well, there's two sides to look at it when you're charging. There's one, you look at your history and what you've done, and then there's two, the impact on the client. And you can never put a price on someone being able to play with their kids for another 10 years. You can't put a price on that. So there's always two areas there, which back then I never thought about the second side. For me, it was always about me, my internal thing. Whereas now it's like, well, actually, you're going to have another 10 years on your life. you owe me a lot more.
Yeah, I don't think many trainers think of it that way though. You owe me. That's the point of it, isn't it? You buy into this, I'm giving you this service, you owe me. Yeah.
I'm going to double my price today. Look at you.
Yeah. So the gym, what year was that? The first S&P site?
2009 in March we officially opened. We got the keys in like late 2008.
Yeah.
To this warehouse in the mill, and we just started working away at it, painting it, knocking walls down, doing a few things, and then we started to get a few clients coming down, having a look, and it was just it was like a load of dust, a tire, and a couple of sandbags, and that's all we had. We didn't have a lot of kit, and then finally in March we kind of, that's when I said to Virgin, "There's my letter. See you later. I'm going." And the manager back then, there was obviously me and Z, and he didn't like Z. I don't know why. And he was like, "I'll see you in 3 months." He was such a dick. He was like, "Right, you guys will be back."
Wow.
Like, see ya.
That must have been like lighting the touch paper.
Oh, mate, it was like, right, no chance. See you later.
Wow, I didn't know that.
That's why Z went and wrote all those articles for Elite FTS on 10 things that I hate about commercial gyms.
Oh, really? God, I didn't know that. For the listeners, that manager wasn't me, by the way, for the listeners.
Yeah.
I think I'd gone by then. I think I was fully appropriated up by then.
So yeah, that's when we took the leap. But it was nervous handing in the letter, and then going, "You're on your own now." But luckily, we had a good client base.
Yeah.
At Virgin, who were happy to come with us. We didn't force them. We were like, "We're going here now," and they were like, "Well, I want to train with you." Cool. You know what you need to do then. Because that's what it's like. You get that attachment to a client, don't you? They don't come to the gym because of Virgin Active. They come because they want you and your service and your value. So if you are good, they in theory should follow you, or a good portion of them to help you get set up.
Great description you gave there as well of going from, and for anybody who's not trained in the Nuffield Health now mainly, I think Virgin have a few gyms, but the facility we were in Didsbury, Manchester was, very, very nice, very kind of polished finish. The gym itself was a very, very good looking gym. And going from that to what you described, like a dust and a tire and a couple of sandbags in a basement of a mill, wasn't it, basically? Yeah. And your clients, the vast majority of them, I know, all followed you, didn't they? Yeah. Why do you think that is? Because I think a lot of trainers do get hung up on, it's the facility that's my problem. The dumbbells aren't what they should be, and that's why clients are leaving me. False. Completely.
Not about that at all. Even to this day in our gym, I know some of the guys, they would like a few more newer things, and I'm like, I don't buy into that. I don't buy into the new flashy stuff. I like the old raw stuff. I like the old raw, gritty, hard work attitudes. And I suppose maybe we'd implemented that with, without really knowing to our members that it was hard work and it was results and stuff like that. All of the marketing slang that you might use now, maybe we were doing it without even realizing. So then when we did say we're going to go and flip a tire and kind of drag a sled, they were like, "Yeah, I'm in." Pardon? You sure?
Yeah. Well, you must have created an atmosphere within the gym as well, where the clients just wanted to be a part of it, and the flashy showers and changing rooms didn't matter to them too much.
Yeah. Well, we did start to do that. We did get our first prowler made when we were at Virgin. I'm sure you were still there then. Maybe 2007. We got a prowler made, and we used to store it in the back room. And then what we would do is we would then carry it through the gym and out down the fire exit, where the water fountain used to be. So we used to carry it out there.
Car park out the back. Yes, I do remember that. Yeah.
And then we'd take some kettlebells out and take some plates. And thinking back now, it's like we used to just take a whole load of stuff outside and say, "All right, guys, who's coming out?" And then maybe 10 of us would go out, push the prowler, carry some stuff, and then just put it all back in. And everyone was like, "Well, what are you doing?" It's like, yeah, we're training, but what do you mean? Well, what are you training? Are you training legs? Are you training art? No, we're training everything, because it was that training philosophy of we're not bodybuilders, we're not powerlifters in essence, we're just training like athletes, and we want to sprint, carry, run, whatever. And then that started to catch on a little bit. We used to do like box jumps in the gym. I remember we used to hold the step boxes either side. So you had one of us this side, kind of one of us the other side, hold it down, someone's jumping on.
Super
I think Z got up to one point. I think Z was on some crazy high because he was so explosive. And then I think he fell, and then he was scarred for life after that.
Couldn't do it mentally anymore.
Yeah, but it was just like, there was 5 or 6 of us doing these box jumps, and I was like, what the hell? What are you doing here?
Funny though, isn't it? Because that culture now of the everyday athlete is everywhere. It's everywhere.
Yeah. Whereas back then it was Bosu balls, it was Swiss ball, it was pull check stuff, it was the power plates had just come in. And obviously my history of knowledge, yes, I got a degree and I did my PT stuff, but I spent hundreds, thousands of hours reading Elite FTS and T Nation. I probably read every article on that site when back then to when it started. So I was reading stuff, from Dave Tate, from Jim Wendler, Eric Cressy, Mike Robertson. So much good info. And I was like, this is amazing. This is what training's about. This is what I want. I don't want any of this fluff that I see in the gym. I don't want to see, like my philosophy was, we're going to train people right. We're going to teach them how to use a barbell. We're going to teach them how to move. Just because I was kind of consuming all this, I just wanted to do it in the gym. And obviously that was just different from what was going on. So it was like, that's what maybe gained a little bit of interest as well.
No doubt. It was infectious. I remember you and another, friend of ours, Gareth Tong, at the time, where he's now Harlequin's strength and conditioning coach. He's moved on since then, last time I heard. But another person who did very, very well. It was infectious. The more the trainers were learning, it was becoming infectious for the members and exciting for the members. And even though some of it was a bit, like, air quotes, weird, so they'd never seen it before, they got involved. And I'll ask you a question now then. Do you still do as much learning as you did? Because you were a learning machine back then. No. A very honest answer.
I don't do any now. I'll be honest. I don't do any. I think the first 5-6 years of opening the gym, I was still quite heavy into taking things on.
Right.
And then it turns more to business skills.
So you're learning in that arena now, in the business side of things?
So for me now, it's more business side of things I like to learn. I like to learn about different mindfulness stuff as well, things that are just a little bit out there. A little bit, not just the marketing. I mean, obviously you've got to do the marketing, the sales, that side of things, because if you understand your niche and you understand your service, well, that's awesome. But that's how then do you get it to the mass market? How then do you sell that to that person? Well, how else can you be different? So my knowledge, I say my education turned a little bit different into kind of leadership roles, stuff like that. But now I'll be honest, I don't do a lot now. I'll read a couple of books, but I feel like now it's like I want my mind to do the thinking. And you know what it's like when you're constantly taking in stuff, you just kind of repeat that stuff, which is fine. But if you just let your mind sit with it and all the information you've taken, you can probably think of all the ideas you want.
That's interesting, that. So your learning's changed. Mine's the same. I think in the beginning as a trainer, you focus on training, nutrition, and some mindset stuff, and you try and spread your time between those things. But as you get further into your career, you definitely start to narrow down into one area with you. It depends what you're doing. If you're running a business like you guys are, you need marketing, sales to be good. You need to have an oversight in business. If you're still a coach, then your learning is going to be mainly in exercise programming or nutrition, whichever one you're thinking. But you do, I see what you're saying there. You get to a point where you got to start thinking for yourself. There's only so many things.
I think one important thing is I used to think back in the day, I can't program that, or I can't do that because no one else has done it. And then you get fixated on that. Well, if Eric Cressy says it's not good, well, I better not do it. Or if someone says it's not good, maybe I shouldn't do it. Where in actual fact, the way the fitness world space works is it always goes around in circles, doesn't it? You know, it's like something that's good then goes bad, then comes good again. And it's like actually there's no bad exercise. There's just better exercises based on the individual who you're dealing with. So I think back then I was probably too fixated on trying to keep in line with what was going on, but it was fine because I was learning it. But now I'm like, if I want to put the exercise in, or if I want to do this, we'll just do it. You know, there's no like, oh, I shouldn't do that because he said it's not good. Actually, I don't care what you say anymore. If I believe it's a good thing to do, I'll do it.
And it's positive for the person you're doing it with. Like, does it get a result at the end of the day? Because I think well, programming, as an example, some of it's a science and some of it's an art form. Science is you've got to be safe, you've got to be really have a logical prescription to it. But the art form is going, well, this is a human in front of me. What's going to work for them? And sometimes you're kind of flying by the seat of your pants a bit with that. You're going, well, let's try this. And if it works, it works. Doesn't matter what anyone else says. Yeah.
And then you have the programming for the result. And then you have programming for us like now to work in a gym.
Yeah.
What can you tweak within your program that can influence a community in a gym?
Give me an example of that. Give me an example of that.
So could you have a pair workout?
Yeah.
Could you have exercise where you have to superset, tricep, whatever, where people are paired together and then they obviously alternate? Could you have certain things lined up in a certain way that makes the program flow? Because obviously if you've got 20 people in a gym lifting weights, how does that work? It's like if everyone's going to bench or if everyone's going to squat, well, how many racks do you need for that to happen?
Yeah.
And then you've only got a certain amount of dumbbells, you've only got a certain amount of kettlebells, so you've got to make things work based on the kit you've got.
I wasn't going to talk about this, but can you? Because this is something that we get a real common question around, is a lot of trainers who start one-on-one, which I think is okay. I think that's not a bad place for a new trainer to start. We then have to transition to semi-private, groups of 2 or 3, and just can't get their heads around it. Like really struggle with going, well, there's 2 people, how do you program it? And what you're describing there is, you're not, because they say things like that, they'll go, oh, well, the people won't get as good a result. You're like, well, I don't think that's true. I think it just comes down to how you program things. So how did you make that transition?
How you program and how you educate them as well.
Right.
So you got to educate that the client is not on their own anymore. They're going to be working with a few people because it's going to that'll benefit them in XYZ way. Yeah. And we're going to do it in a certain style that we're not just here to train for you. Your job is to make your teammate better. So if they are doing an exercise, you're spotting them, or vice versa. Or so again, it depends how people program. If you have the A's, or like the first few exercises might just be a focus lift, which might be a couple of exercises where they don't need the same kit.
Yeah.
And then you might have bits where it's like they take it in turns, and while one's resting, then the other one's encouraging and stuff like that. So there's various ways how you can try and create that community kind of cohesion, put a time cap on things. But I think a big one with the group stuff is always encourage support, always encourage that bit of a fist pump, high five, as cheesy as it is, a handshake or whatever afterwards. It makes you feel good. You finish a tough little Metcon bit and you're like, well, mate, well done. But they're not just going to do it. So it has to start from you. You've got to encourage it. You've got to explain why. And then once it's started, you support it, and then it's done. You leave it.
Right, any trainers listening who are going from one-on-one to semi-private, reverse this 20 seconds into that again. They aren't just going to do it, are they? You've got to breed that culture. Yeah. You've got to start to create that atmosphere where they work as a team.
And that's one thing we were really anal on at the start of S&P was, if we want this team here, because high-fiving was always very American, and I'm not doing that. It's a bit cheesy, and I'm not like that. I just want to get strong. And that was what some of our coaches said back in the day.
Yeah.
And then it was like, no, this is going to create our vibe. This is going to create a team, a solid base that we can build on. And as awkward as it was to start with, it was like, all right, come on. It just then became natural because we did it every session. We supported it. We explained why. And then after a few weeks, we didn't need to say anything. Members were just doing it. And it was like, wow, that was actually quite easy. But
Yeah.
it's your own mental barriers in your head first that you got to get over with. I can't do that because X, Y, Z. Well, actually, does X, Y, Z, is there any data to show that? Or is that just our kind of presumptions based on what we think we know? And a lot of it is just, well, like I said, it's the Americans, it's cheesy. Actually, it's probably not. It's probably what a lot of people need, especially nowadays when everyone lives on social media, has bipolar, because all they do is they're one person on here, then they're another person in real life. They need that contact. They need that community friendliness feeling.
Yeah, if you run a facility, it's essential these days. They've got to feel like they're part of a community, and having had memberships at your gyms in the past, and feeling things like, let's talk about this next. That everybody cleaned their kit away. Once a session was done, you all cleaned the kit away together. Even just that little action, and I remember the first couple of sessions there, everyone did it. Like no one went, "What? I'm paying a membership. Why do I have to clean the kit away?" Everyone just got on with it. And did it as a group, and that kind of thing creates that special bond, and makes people feel like part of a team, part of a family.
We are social animals. Humans are social animals. They want to be part of something. Our society now is obviously making us not a part, but deep down we want to be part of something. So if we can help to facilitate that, then of course that's your kind of bread and butter to a thriving gym kind of community.
What else do you do? That's like one example that I definitely saw. What else do you guys do in that gym to create that? Because I know you do a lot. So what are the things you do to create community, togetherness?
So I would say there's different parts. First part happens probably on the sales call. Set expectations. What are we about? Or probably even in the marketing.
Yeah.
We probably say the marketing and stuff sets the expectation of what we are. The sales call obviously reinforces it. The start of the member's journey reinforces it again with various videos, content, stuff that they have to consume. Then there's a process for everything. When someone new walks into the gym, this is what needs to happen. Is in like there's a meet and greet, the coach meets them there. They then go and introduce them to a few members who are maybe around doing a few things. Then you'd have at the start of a session, well, we have a welcome. All right, guys, welcome. This person's new today. Say hi. As awkward as it feels, this person doesn't know anyone. They're shit scared. If they then walk away with a few names that they know, they're like, oh, I met so-and-so today, and he helped me through the session. Cool. At the end of the session, obviously the high five, the well done. So from a session kind of perspective, there's various elements there within the program, because obviously you know how we do it. We have our fit and strong. Our strong is obviously more of the strength side. The fit is where we try and get people on. The fit is very much, we have different boards or different sessions, which we have like individual ones. We have hit like maybe different kind of energy systems, stuff like that. But then we also have team boards where they have to work in a team. They have to work in a team before. So it'll be like, right, you're together. First thing, make sure you know everyone's name. Go. Right. Everyone happy? Cool. So that's, I would say, from your members journey sessions. And then on top of that, you've got kind of various things, things of going out together, socials together. Anything that kind of creates that kind of rapport where people feel like, well, like they can connect, live videos in the group, attend workshops, all that type of stuff, where it then just kind of supports, actually, if we are a team, what else can we do together to be like a team? So we have various things that, at different times of the year. So, right now there's a walk next week, a community walk, then there's Tough Mudder together, then there's the photo shoot, so things like that. And, the photo shoot is a big retention tool, but it also brings people together because they go on a journey together. They take photos together. they share the photos together. So again, there's a lot of things that pull people together.
Yeah. That's interesting, because photo shoots, sometimes people look from the outside in going, oh, they're a bit kind of about the individual and a bit posy. And hello, mate, we've got a little visitor on the podcast.
This is my youngest.
Everything's cool about this except for that shirt. For the listeners, he's got a City shirt on.
United. When City play United, but you'll be watching it. I bet they'll beat United like 8-0.
No, well, hopefully not. We're coming to get you. We're coming to get you.
Right, give me a few more minutes.
No.
You go have a nice little.
No.
You have a nice. No. Here's me saying, you go have a nice little. You got some sweets to go.
Always happens. Hey, let's crack on. So, the bit about the photo shoot. That's really an interesting one, because people look at those things as kind of about the individual and the vanity of it, but it is a journey for the client to go through together as well. And I've seen you get the photo shoot done in the gym all as a group, don't you? Everybody does their individual shots, but then there's team shots, and that's a real way to do it that's inclusive rather than it just being about one person. It's good.
I think with the photo shoots, it's people like it because they get, what's like, people do this on their journey, don't they? Up and down.
Yeah.
So if they're feeling down and then there's a photo shoot in 16 weeks, actually that gives them a little bit of, okay, yes, you might not have abs, yes, you might not be in like the best shape, but it's a journey. It's a journey, and that's a snapshot in time for you getting to where you want to be, which might be 3 years down the line. Yeah,
it's a stepping stone to something else.
But the photo shoots are awesome. We love them down at the gym, and members love them. Even the ones, I've had a few kind of close friends around here who said they would never do a photo shoot. When they first joined, never do it, and then they're doing it, and you're like, what the hell? What is it? What is being said amongst members and stuff that they want to do it, but obviously something's going on, because then you don't need to sell it or you don't need to push it because the members do it for you.
Yeah, which is ultimately that is the proof of your culture. If the members are doing it for you and they're selling it for you, these ideas and these concepts, or you're getting referrals, that's the proof of the culture. Like, just things that have been, because I think you'll have some good ones with this. Toughest challenges, biggest screw ups. What happened?
Biggest one, like I said, I think I touched on at the start, was thinking that I knew it all when we opened the gym. So when we opened the gym and we were like, all right, the gym's open, everyone's going to join now. And then days went by, weeks, months, and coming. No one was joining. We're like, we're here, come on, we're a hardcore facility. Where is everyone? We should have a queue at the door. We should have people in, and it wasn't there. Hold on a minute.
You've been here for an hour.
Go and have a nice look. Go and have your Mr. Freeze.
No,
Down in a minute. You go have another one.
No.
Sorry. Oh, last chance. So I think it is that. It's like thinking you know it all, but you don't.
1 minute.
1 minute. Go. Apologies for the listeners. So thinking you know it all. Oh, shit.
Go on.
Thinking you know it all and you don't. Expecting members to obviously to show up, and then even when. So I would say for the first 5 years, we ran our gym as just like we've got a gym, it's cool. But it wasn't really profitable. I mean, it wasn't really kind of profitable, because when the membership was down, then we just took less in like earnings, for our wage. So it was like we got through the first three to 5 years as like, it's cool. We run a gym. We've coached Michael Bisping. We've done stuff for men's health, men's fitness, which was awesome, but it didn't really earn us any more money. So it stroked our ego, because it was like, yeah, we're doing all these things, but actually from a revenue point of view, from a selfish, I might support my family, it didn't really do much.
Yeah.
But it got my face in a magazine and I got my face there and there and there and there. But that doesn't pay you.
Yeah.
But it was at a time where we were probably, we were a bit younger. So the stresses of maybe having the overheads weren't there at home. So it was like, oh yeah, it's fine. But then obviously then Martin came in. Martin's our third business partner. He came in about 5 years in as a member, and he came in with the marketing knowledge. And he was like, guys, if you want to sit down and have a chat, we can maybe turn this place into something mega. And means he was like, no, we're fine. We're doing great. And then he looked at the numbers and it was like, guys, do you know how much you are earning per hour? You might as well go back to Virgin Active. Yeah, it's fine, but because we own a gym. And then he then basically opened our eyes to a whole new world of marketing.
Yeah.
But again, I suppose the mistake there would be thinking you know it all, or not having a plan, a proper business plan with marketing, sales, and growth and stuff like that. Sorry, mate. Hold on a minute. Might need to pause this.
We can pause it.
That's it. Go tell Alfie. Go tell Alfie. Right. Edit that bit.
Yeah, we can edit. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I've been there myself, mate. Don't worry.
Oh, so frustrated.
Oh, it's hard work. You're trying to do it. Working from home, man, it's mega hard. I've got this office. They always come up to it all the time. Right. Yeah, we'll start now.
Yeah.
Steve, if you're listening, edit that bit. So yeah, like the marketing side of it, I think is something that's definitely underestimated, isn't it? Like you think it's all going to be about kind of the reputation of the gym, and it is. Like you build a culture in the gym, but you need to have that marketing arm nailed down.
Yeah, because people have their own lives, and yes, a member might love the gym, but something might come up in their life that they then have to leave. And when you haven't got a system that's going to bring you an X amount of leads, you're like, oh no, we've lost another member. But if you can have an organic or a paid system that is going to generate X leads, it makes you feel comfortable because you're always going to kind of progress. Or again, that was probably my expectations of not having in something where maybe 5% members will leave every month. All right, cool. We need to cover that 5% every month.
Yeah.
So just having that knowledge and that data to then plan forward, whereas like I said, in the early days, it was our marketing was like, we'll jump on some forum threads and type, come join us.
It's a bit more sophisticated than that. You learn that quickly. But even PT now listening, going, right, they're a new PT in a gym trying to generate leads and trying to build a business up. Because I've coached trainers where they're up to where they're full, but they still don't necessarily have a reliable sales system that brings leads in. And when you start losing people, then it becomes uber stressful because you haven't got any leads coming in the other end. So you do have to have that bit nailed down for sure.
But I think the key is what does the PT want?
Right.
No. And I think a lot of the times in the PT world, I want more clients. Well, what does more mean? Just like how a client comes to you, I want to lose 10 pounds. Why? So you want more clients, but why? Well, because I want to get to 20 hours. Yeah, but why? It's all that stuff, and you got to go deep. Well, actually, you need, let's say, £2,000 a month. All right, cool. So you need £2,000 a month. Now let's have a look at your products and your services. How can you package that up? Or sorry, I should say you need 2,000 a month, and then you only want to work 10 hours a week, or whatever those things. I think a lot of the times, a lot of PTs now, it's yes, stage one, practice one-to-one, master your trade, learn your trade, be confident in what you deliver. 2, you're the boss. What do you want? Where are you going on this journey? Set yourself some targets and set a plan to make those targets. And if it is, what does 20 hours mean? That doesn't mean anything. You need a revenue thing. 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. Then when you have that, well, is that 1-to-1? Is it 2-to-1? Is it 3-to-1? And then build around that way, which is a little bit different than saying I need 20 hours a week or I need 30 hours a week.
Totally different for the trainer's lifestyle as well.
Yeah, massively, because one-to-one, don't get me wrong, is awesome to start with, but scale-wise, you can only go so far, and there's only 5-6 a.m.s in a week, only 5-7 a.m.s in a week.
Yeah, it's totally true, and I think like it's good to hear a trainer can hear that you can get to the level of where you are with a gym and a facility, and now I don't know how many hours you coach per week currently, but I know it's not very many. How many actual coaching hours do you do? Zero. It's down to zero now.
I haven't done any for about 3-4 years now.
Right. So you're fully overseeing the facility with a lot of members, with a lot of sessions. That's awesome. And
yeah,
it's kind of one of the big reasons I wanted you to come on today, was to talk a bit about that journey. Last
I was just going to say that the biggest barrier I think sometimes for PT early on doing semi-private or group is their own self-beliefs. Their own self-beliefs that you can't do group because, based on, like people say, it isn't going to work. They're not going to get the results they want one-to-one. And it's those self-limiting beliefs that the PT needs to unravel to try and move forwards. Because semi-private is awesome. If you can have a product where you can get 2 or 3 to 1, you can make a lot of money, work some nice hours, and have a good job. So those self-limiting beliefs need to be thought about why that is, and then trying to work with someone to try and overcome them, to then develop a package that you can then sell moving forwards. And I suppose this is something that obviously we do now. We sell packages. Back then it was like, do you want to do kind of one session a week? But what does one session a week get you? It doesn't really get you anything.
Yeah.
Whereas now the package is the package is the result. The package is the result based on them. The program doesn't change. The sales call pitch will change depending on the goal or the person talking. But the package is the package. And I suppose if you could try and do that earlier on, develop a package which is results focused, then that's what people want. They don't want one session a week. Because I remember it was back then, well, you speak to a prospect and it was like, do you want 1, 2, or 3 sessions a week? No, it should be the client tells you what they want and your solution is this. And the solution is, well, you need to train twice a week, blah, blah, blah. I've got a slot at this time. Are you in?
More of a prescription rather than
yeah, exactly.
The client. Yeah.
We're doctors. On the sales call or on the sales pitch, you have to be like a doctor.
Yeah, 100% agree with that. And I think the self-beliefs thing, I mean, that's an episode in itself because it's all about, I think you're totally right. The biggest barriers to people going from one-to-one to group-based training or semi-private training is usually themselves. The clients will actually love it. When you get clients in that environment, they don't feel like they're getting less. They feel like they're getting more. But it's usually the trainer saying, the client won't like it. They like their one-on-one. And yeah, I think there is a place for one-on-one as a product, definitely. But for the vast majority of people, they'll thrive in semi-private. They really will. So good.
Well, they get to train maybe double the amount of times a week for the same price.
Yeah, exactly.
So why would you not?
And they get a team around them and they get friends. And it improves their compliance left, right, and center, not just in their PT sessions, but in everything.
We had a PT in the gym who's been around for similar time as me, and he was one-to-one. And so many years I was saying to him, you just got to do semi-private. Yeah, I will. I'll try it. But it was his beliefs that stopped him for years on end. And he's been doing it now for a good couple of years. And he's like, it's the best thing he's ever done.
Yeah. Frees up so much time.
Well, you could have done it years ago, but he had to overcome his own issues to then be like, actually, I can do it.
Yeah, just takes that little switch in the brain to make sure we'll go for it.
Yeah.
Last question I want to ask you today. What's next?
What is next? Who knows? We've done a lot. Right. We have, we set up a gym. We then did some franchising, which we had 7 locations at one point, which was an interesting thing because you're trying to implement your methods, your style into maybe people who don't quite fit.
Right.
So then it's like, actually, the owner themselves needs to be a better fit for your model. We did consulting to other gyms. So we helped other gyms grow, stuff like that, worked with PTs. And then during COVID, it was like, it's a lot of time and effort. It's taking up a lot of bandwidth. It's a lot of, if if you're working with a gym and you're implementing what you do and it's working for you and it doesn't work for them, then they then pass the buck on to you to fix it. Well, actually, you probably they might have deeper issues in their gym that they need to sort, but because they're getting consultation, it then becomes our fault. It then becomes a headache for us. So then after that, we were like, tell you what, let's just zoom out. What do we want? What life do we want to live? What stresses do we want to do? How many hours do we want to work? All the stuff that, we spoke about.
Yeah.
And it's like, actually, I enjoy taking my kids to school. I enjoy picking my kids up. I want this, I want that, I want this, all those little things. Can we make it work? So we cut all the franchises bar one. So we've got one down in Wales, and we stopped the consulting and just focused on our gym a bit more, tidied a few things up. And here we are today. So moving forward, who knows? I don't know. There's no aspirations to open another location, anything like that. The gym market's quite tough now, I think, because there's a lot. Remember when we first opened, there wasn't many people around. It was a total new concept. So now you are going up against competition with very similar things. Everyone's speaking the same words. So how do you stand out from the crowd now? I would say it is probably a little bit harder, but I'm not saying it isn't doable. It just needs probably a bit more time and effort and thought, which we probably don't need to do that right now.
Yeah. Well, no, I really like that, because what I took from that there is, and I think you seem to be really good at this over all your years in the industry, is being able to zoom out regularly and say, what is it you want? Because we sometimes forget all that you were obviously a bit of a victim of your own success there, that you start to get consultancy jobs, you start to get people probably asking you, how do you do your gym? Can we do a franchise? And it's very tempting to say, yeah, let's do it, when it might not.
You want a piece of everything.
Yeah, right. And it might not actually be the right thing for you. And we were in that position as well. People were coming with offers and we were like, that's tempting. But to catch yourself and go, I don't like this. This isn't what we're set out to do, I think is a massive, massive takeaway for everybody in that last couple of minutes there.
And I remember a few more business people who we knew, they were like, just be careful going down the franchising route. Right. Yes, it might sound good, but it never is, unless, because remember, we're only a small business. We've not got massive marketing campaign. We're not at McDonald's where someone buys into a franchise and then suddenly they've got everything. It wasn't like that. So when we did do it, and he's like, okay, cool, you got this now, let's see how it goes. And then when we got rid of him, he's like, told you. But even it's like, well, yeah, thanks, mate. But he couldn't, we had to go through it.
Yeah.
But we've invested a lot with mentors ourselves who then teach you a bit of, I say a higher level thinking. It's not high level thinking, it's just zoom out. It's just focus. Yeah, it is perspective. Come back to you, come back to what you want, your situation, and then move forwards with a plan. And then if it doesn't work, don't get drawn into anyone else's business, all that type of stuff, because you can, especially on social media, well, they're doing that, they're growing, they're running this. Actually, do you want to do that? Well, if you do, you're gonna have to work 12 hours a day. Yeah, but I don't want that. Okay, well, I'll just be okay then.
I think that's a really good place to leave it today. That's a really good lesson for people to really zoom out and think about what it is that you want. So anyone listening to this today, that would be an exercise to go and straight away do. And like you say, it's nothing wrong with going, I want a bigger, more successful business. There's some sacrifices that come with that. And if you're prepared to do them, great, get after it. But if it's not the lifestyle you want, you don't have to do it. There's other ways and there's other things to do. Mate, if
you are a PT which is new to this field, I think fitness space is always going to be there. It's never going to go away. It's only going to get bigger. We are vain deep down. We want to look good, feel good, everything. That's not going to go away. So there's going to be business on top of business, on top of business. My advice would be refine your skills, communication, how you speak to people, how you approach people, body language, stuff like that, which is basic stuff. Eye contact, a lot of people don't even give eye contact these days. Dive into your product. What does your product do for someone? Do you want to work with someone a specific person or is it a group of people? Once you know what your product is, you then can you push out your marketing and then learn how to sell. I remember kind of back in the day, you used to speak about you got to be confident in selling. You got to learn how to sell. So learning just some simple things, learn how to touch on pain points in people.
Yeah.
Not like aggressive selling. Don't be aggressive because the client might not be able to afford it today, but they might come back next month. So leave them with something to take away and enjoy it, because it is an awesome industry. You're either going to work 9 to 5 in an office, or you can actually get up at 5 a.m, beat all the traffic. It's a different world, but it is awesome. I love it.
Yeah. Matt and I always say, it's one of the best jobs in the world. You get to go to work in your pajamas and you talk to people. That's it, right?
Yeah.
And you get paid a lot of money for it as well. And it's,
Yeah.
if you enjoy it and you have fun and you really you do like being around people, you'll thrive. But
yeah.
Okay, that's a really good note to finish on, mate. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing what is really a snippet of your journey. We could
awesome.
do a good few hours talking about all different bits and pieces, but I think there's some massive lessons in there for people to take away. Can you let people know where they can find Strength and Performance and any handles that you want to give out right now?
Instagram, Strength and Performance _09. 09 is obviously when we started, or spgyms.com website, or on Facebook. Come check out what we do. But that's about it. I'm not, there's nothing that we give to any kind of coaches these days. It's more like if you got any questions though, kind of message you, Campy, kind of pass it on. I'll be happy to answer them.
Awesome. All right. Thanks so
All
much,
right.
everybody.
All right, buddy.
Well, have you on
enjoy your weekend.
You too.
All right, mate. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Hello and welcome along again to another episode of the ProFit podcast. I'm your host, Paul Campy, and today I'm doing a solo interview episode. Matt is with his kids on a summer holiday, having a well-deserved break. And today we've got a really special guest for you. It's a friend of mine, somebody who I've known in the industry for a good number of years, 15 years plus, who has been on a massive journey from working in sales in a gym to being a commercial PT, all the way up to running a very successful gym facility himself today, along with his business partner. And I've got him on today to talk about pitfalls, highs, lows, lessons that he's learned along the way. And for any PT entering the industry or even experienced PTs, I think this one is a really top episode today. Plenty to listen to, plenty to enjoy. So please sit back, relax, and listen to Sean O'Keefe from Strength and Performance Gyms.